Welcome to Healthy Living. My guest today is celebrity dermatologist Dr. Whitney Bowe. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Lori.
So we're here poolside at Dr. Bowe's home, and this is where we all want to be this summer, outside enjoying the gorgeous sunshine.
Yeah.
But as a dermatologist, you have some concerns.
I do. I mean, treating my patients, and also, as a mother, I am very concerned about the damaging effects that the sun can have on our skin. So it's all about compromise during the summer.
Well, today we're going to be talking about all different ways to protect yourself this summer from the sun, and a lot of new products to show you. Very exciting.
Yes.
But first, speaking of summer, this is a brand new, great summer read. Your new book called Dirty Looks. I love the title, Dirty Looks, and you even have dirt on your face, even though you still look drop dead gorgeous with dirt on your face.
Thank you.
What does this mean, dirty looks?
So, you're probably familiar with the word probiotics, right? So I think of probiotics as your good bugs. And I think a lot of people are familiar with this concept of, eating, say, yogurt with live active cultures, or eating a diet rich in probiotics, and that helps to restore the healthy balance in their gut. So we have something called a gut microbiome, and it's all these friendly microorganisms, primarily bacteria, that support our health. And they share this very powerful, mutually beneficial relationship with our bodies. But a lot of people don't realize that our skin is covered in trillions of microscopic organisms. So right after you get out of the shower in the morning, when you think you are clean, your body is covered. Again, trillions, and they are just swarming through your eyelashes and diving into your belly button. And, so we actually are realizing there's this groundbreaking, just breathtaking science that has emerged over the last couple of years, showing that we have to learn to love these good bugs. If we learn how to nurture and protect these healthy strains of bacteria on our skin, that's really the secret to having beautiful, glowing, radiant skin. So it's about harnessing the power of the gut microbiome and the skin microbiome and all these tiny warriors, if you will, in order to really promote health, not only for our bodies, keep our waistlines nice and slender, but also give us a beautiful, healthy glow as well.
Well, I know a lot of people have probably never heard that we have a microbiome on
our skin.
We hear,
Yes.
We've just been starting to understand about the good
gut.
bacteria in our gut.
Yes.
But a lot of people have never, ever heard about the good bacteria on our skin.
Right.
How do we promote this ecosystem?
Well, the number one mistake that Americans make when it comes to taking care of our skin is over-cleansing. So, Americans, we were raised with this concept of the germ theory. We were raised to think that bacteria are bad, bugs are bad. So, people instinctively want to sanitize their kitchen counter the same way they want to sanitize their skin, and that's actually doing more harm than good. So, you really want to be careful about things like antibacterial soaps and hand sanitizers, using soaps that leave your skin feeling squeaky clean, reaching for instruments, things like Buff Puffs, loofahs. We are literally rubbing and scrubbing and killing all of those beneficial bugs that are really at the heart of keeping our skin healthy. There's been an epidemic of chronic skin conditions lately. I don't know if you've heard about the rise, but now we have more acne, rosacea, eczema, and premature aging. We have more chronic skin afflictions than we've ever had in the past. And a big part of that is because we're not taking care of our microbiome.
So just like we take a probiotic supplement and eat the yogurt and the kimchi, there are actual probiotics that we can put on our skin to help things along.
Right, so it's really a twofold process when it comes to taking care of the skin. First, you don't want to kill off the good bugs you already have. Right, so you want to be careful about not over cleansing and over scrubbing, or being too obsessed with hygiene. I'm not telling people to stop showering. I'm certainly not recommending going to sleep with your makeup on, but I do think that there's something to be said for taking a very gentle approach when it comes to cleansing our skin. So that's number one, preserving the good bacteria you have. But number two is there's just a huge surge right now. All of these new products are hitting the market, and this trend is not going anywhere. It's just going to climb exponentially because skincare companies globally are investing millions of dollars into developing skincare products that are taking advantage of these probiotic technologies. They're taking advantage of the technology that these different strains of good bugs can offer our skin to help with acne, to help with aging, to help with all of these chronic skin conditions that we're all suffering with.
And so you have one here that you really like. It's called
Yeah.
Mother Dirt. How does this work?
So this is an example of a live probiotic product. So there's a lot of different types of probiotic skincare products on the market. There's prebiotics. So prebiotics are actually food for the good bugs. And so there's almost like a fertilizer effect. They help promote the growth and proliferation of your good bugs. There's probiotic products like this one where it actually contains live bacteria in here.
Wow.
And then there's postbiotic products, and those are products where it's either the bacteria themselves have been lysed or killed in such a way, or it's using their metabolites, like things that they make, those bacteria produce and secrete into their environment, and taking those and applying them onto your skin. So for this one, for example, this is actually containing live bacteria. You shake it up, and then you basically just spray it onto your skin, onto your face,
Can I
onto
try
your
it?
body. Absolutely,
All
twice
right.
a day. And there's
Twice
living
a day.
microorganisms
So I just am
in
spraying,
there.
I'm spraying like bacteria on my
You're
skin
right now,
now.
you're spraying live bacteria, and actually this brand has found a way to find these live bacteria that no longer exist on our skin. So through evolution, through our very hygienic practices over the years, we've killed off these good bugs
I love
that
it.
they actually determine that we really need. They have calming, anti-inflammatory benefits. So it can really help to, restore that healthy balance to your skin.
I love it. And then
Yeah.
you have another product here too.
So this one's by Naturopathica. This is actually a cleansing balm. It also takes advantage of probiotic technology. So and there's more and more that are even going to be coming out in the next year to 2 years, and it's the potential is just mind-blowing. I'm a scientist, I'm a researcher. In the back of my book, Dirty Looks, I have over 100 references. I take a very evidence-based approach to my recommendations. And so for me, seeing the potential that probiotics, prebiotics, probiotics, postbiotics, that it has to really help us achieve all of our skin goals and keep us so healthy, it's really empowering, it's exciting. And I think that you have to be careful though, because some of the products may use the word probiotics, but they may not have the science behind their claims, which is the way it is with all skincare products.
Right.
They're cosmetics. They're not heavily regulated by the FDA, right? So when you get something over the counter or in online or in a department store, you're sort of relying on the brand to really do their research and to really provide the science behind their claims. And some, like the products here, go to that length, but others are sort of trying to capitalize on the trend and the buzzword probiotics, right? So you have to be
Yes.
careful.
All right. So this is where the title comes from, Dirty Looks.
Right.
We like dirt. We didn't think we did, but back in the old days when people were gardening and really exposed to a
Yeah.
lot of the elements and the dirt, these are where the good bacteria are.
Exactly.
So we need to embrace dirt
You
again.
got to get a little dirty to have beautiful glowing skin. And so yeah, I think that we have to stop obsessing with hygiene and over scrubbing and over cleansing and start embracing this concept that we actually need to really promote the health of this very delicate balance of bacteria on our skin.
And we realize that the gut microbiome, we hear how it helps prevent scary diseases like cancer and heart disease and Alzheimer, but it also helps have a good gut microbiome helps you have beautiful skin too.
It does. There's a gut-skin connection. So I write about in my book something called the gut-brain-skin axis, but it turns out the gut, the brain, and the skin, they're intimately connected. And so you actually do have to nurture the bacteria in your gut and the health of your gut if you want to see healthy skin. An unhappy gut leads to unhappy skin. So if you're stressed out, if you're dealing with a lot of stress or anxiety in your lives, which honestly, in this day and age with social media, and we really are very stressed as a society, and then if you're compounding that by eating a diet of refined processed comfort foods devoid of fiber, that's been shown to slow digestion. It actually slows down the motility in your gut. And when that happens, it leads to something called dysbiosis. It really disrupts the delicate balance of bacteria in your gut, and that leads to something called leaky gut. So you get inflammation because you're getting all these toxins and all these unhealthy molecules that are supposed to be maintained housed in your gut. They're actually being released into the bloodstream, and that can trigger or flare skin conditions. So really the gut and the skin, I mean, if you want to get to the root of your skin conditions, you have to equally be focusing on your diet as well as your skincare.
This is great information. Once again, the book is called Dirty Looks. We'll be right back with more from Dr. Whitney Bowe. Stay with us. Welcome back to Healthy Living, and my guest is celebrity dermatologist Dr. Whitney Bowe, who practices in New York City. But today we're here poolside at your lovely home. Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for coming.
And we're here because we want to talk about the dangers of getting too much sun, which is a huge concern.
It is. I mean, UV exposure and ultraviolet exposure from the sun's rays is really the #1 most preventable and avoidable cause of not only skin cancer, but also signs of aging. So things like fine lines, wrinkles, brown spots, loss of elasticity. And just one blistering sunburn during childhood or adolescence can actually more than double your risk of melanoma later in life.
So
Scary.
what are the best ways to protect ourselves and our loved ones?
Well, of course, sunscreen is absolutely critical, right? But you got to think outside the sunscreen box too. But sunscreen is important. So a lot of people are sort of, deciding between mineral or chemical sunscreens. So mineral or physical blockers basically act like a shield. They sit on the skin and they reflect or scatter UV rays. Those are the ones that they contain zinc oxide, titanium dioxide. They can be a little bit difficult to rub in. They can sometimes leave you looking a little bit like a ghost, right? Whereas the chemical ones, those go by names like avobenzone, oxybenzone, octinoxate. Those absorb very easily into the skin. But there's a question right now surrounding their safety. So, the FDA considers the mineral sunscreens to be generally recognized as safe and effective, GRASE. But when it comes to the chemical sunscreens, they're actually calling for sunscreen manufacturers to really take a closer look at the safety of some of those ingredients. So a lot of people are asking me, like, how do I limit the amount of sunscreen that I'm using during the summer? And that's when I tell people you got to think outside the sunscreen box.
And you have this gorgeous line of clothing that also protects against the sun. What a great idea.
I do. So, it's this whole concept of sun protective clothing. This is a cover up from the collection, but basically I decided to partner with the brand Cabana Life, and we launched our own, it's Dr. Whitney Bowe for Cabana Life Summer Escape collection. It's a limited edition collection of pieces of fabric that are what's called UPF 50+, meaning the fabric itself has been tested in a laboratory and has been shown to block 98% of UVA and UVB rays. So wherever the fabric is covering your skin, you don't have to apply sunscreen. So
Love it.
yeah, and that just cuts down dramatically in the amount of time, right? It's convenient, but it also gives a lot of my patients peace of mind, patients who are concerned about the safety of slathering sunscreen literally from head to toe and reapplying it all day long, as we recommend doing.
So this is a gorgeous cover up. It's just so cute.
Thank you.
And what else do you have as far as items in your collection?
One of the staples in the sun protective collection, of any sun protective collection, is a rash guard. This one's, I don't wear this one. This is for my daughter. It's very small. But the concept of a rash guard, it initially developed for surfers because the sand would sort of mix with the wax on their boards and they would get rashes on their skin climbing on and off their boards. But now rash guards are not just for surfers. They're made with this UPF 50+ fabric. So they're basically like long sleeve swim shirts, but the fabric is lightweight, it's breathable, it's quick drying. So, for myself, for my daughter, when I'm wearing one of these, I'm only applying sunscreen on my face, on my neck, on the tops of my hands, and on my legs. And when I send her to camp, I say, McLean, you only have to reapply your face and your legs after you swim. She doesn't have to worry about literally applying every single inch of her skin. So it's just a game changer when it comes to your relationship with the sun.
And what are some of the other products that you have in this line?
So we have rash guards for both adults and children. For little girls, we have cover-ups. I have a hat, so broad-rimmed hats are very important when it comes to protecting your skin from the sun. And you want to, again, look for that UPF 50+. I also have lounge pants. We have a bikini and a one-piece, and those are what I consider like the foundation of any of your sun protective looks. You want to be wearing those underneath. They don't cover much skin, so ideally you sort of want to, for example, in the morning I'll wear a bikini, I'll throw on my rash guard, and then I'll go swimming, and then when I have lunch, I'll leave the rash guard out to dry, and then I'll put on the lounge pants instead.
Wonderful. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Dr. Bo is going to explain some other must-have products to protect yourself against the summer sun. Stay with us. Welcome back to Healthy Living. My guest is celebrity dermatologist Dr. Whitney Bo, and we are here poolside talking about ways to protect yourself against the summer sun and still enjoy the outdoors.
Exactly.
And you have some amazing products here that
I do. And
really
some of these
helpful.
just came out. So this one, HelioCare Advanced. So there's actually a vitamin that's been proven to protect your skin from skin cancer. And we're talking studies that are in the New England Journal of Medicine. Like, this isn't just another beauty supplement. So actually it's been shown that nicotinamide, which is a form of vitamin B3, if you take it every single day, it can significantly reduce your risk of developing skin cancer, which is just mind-blowing. And the nicotinamide, the form that I recommend to my patients, is called HelioCare Advanced. You can order it online. So it's in addition to your sunscreen. It's not instead of your sunscreen, but I always tell people when you're putting on your sunscreen in the morning, take your HelioCare, and then you feel really covered and really protected during the day.
Now, we hear a lot about CBD oil. This is
Sure
like
do.
the new thing, and a lot of folks have heard of it but don't really know what it is. And you say that it's actually something that can help us during the summer months.
It's true. So cannabis, the cannabis plant, has two main compounds that people are familiar with. There's THC, which gets you high, and CBD, which doesn't. But CBD has been shown to have incredible health benefits, and actually specifically for summer skin issues. So CBD, when applied topically on the skin through either a spray or an oil, can actually help to dial down inflammation. It speeds up wound healing, and it also has analgesic properties, so it helps with pain. So I tell patients, when you come home, if you think you've had a little too much sun during the day, take a shower, pat dry, and apply some of your CBD.
So how does this work exactly? You just spray it on?
So yeah, so this one's a spray. This one's by the brand Plant Juice Oils. It's actually a blend of essential oils and CBD. And this one's by Laura Jones. This one's actually an oil. So this one you can rub in if you have dry skin. This one you can put in the fridge, and just like, it's a great cooling spray for hot, humid summer days if you really want to get that refreshing cooling sensation.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, we need to stay hydrated in the summer.
Oh, we do. So one of the biggest mistakes that my patients make is that they reach for a sports drink, but most sports drinks are loaded with sugar, and sugar causes something called glycation. The sugar molecules bind to the collagen and targets it for destruction. So it's a great way to accelerate the aging process by drinking lots of these sports drinks. So there's this new one on the market. This one just launched. It's Halo Sport. It's organic. There are 10 calories in here, 2 grams of sugar, and it's loaded with minerals, electrolytes. So it's a great way to hydrate without doing any damage to your skin.
And so I want everyone to hear this really
I need
well.
a sip of this.
The
Hot out here,
it's
right?
hot out here, right? You say that sugar should be avoided because it actually ages your skin. And now earlier you talked about the gut microbiome.
Yeah.
And we know that sugar is bad just overall for your microbiome, so we really need to stay away from it.
I love that you said that, because sugar is food for bad bugs. If you eat a diet that's rich in refined sugars and carbs, it actually helps to promote the growth of the unhealthy bacteria that triggers inflammation throughout your body. So you'd want to really try to avoid foods that have sugar. But even when you do eat sugar, there's that second process called glycation, where the sugar that makes its way into your bloodstream actually can damage your skin cells. So for so many reasons, sugar, try to stay under about 30 grams a day.
Good rule of thumb, less than 30 grams a day. Well, once again, the book is called Dirty Looks. We'll be right back with more from Dr. Whitney Bo. Stay with us. Welcome back to Healthy Living, and we're talking with Dr. Whitney Bo, celebrity dermatologist and author of the brand new book, Dirty Looks. And we all want to look like you. You have the most beautiful skin.
And you.
Thank you.
You're stunning.
And one of your secrets is collagen.
Yes.
And we hear sometimes about collagen in beauty products, but we know this is the stuff that makes us look young.
Yes, especially ingestible collagen, or things like collagen powder. So collagen is, you can think about it as like ropes in the skin that sort of create this scaffolding effect. So they're basically ropes of protein that keep the skin firm firm and tight and smooth. And unfortunately, in our mid-20s, we start to lose about 1% of collagen per year. We don't replace it as quickly as we're breaking it down. So there's this very hot new trend of adding a scoop or two of collagen powder into your coffee, into your smoothie, into your oatmeal. You know, you can cook with it, you can bake with it, but there's really interesting new studies. Some of them are small, some of them are preliminary, but the science, there's tremendous potential there. They're very promising, showing that if you ingest collagen every single day, it can boost elasticity, hydration in the skin, and even fight wrinkles.
Love it. And so do you recommend any particular kind?
Yeah, so this is the one that I do recommend. So this is the brand Body Kitchen. So this one, it's really, when it comes to collagen, not all powders are created equal, as you can imagine. It really has to do with the quality of the collagen source, but also something called dipeptides. So this one contains PO and OG. Those are the most powerful dipeptides when it comes to really showing those beautiful effects on the skin.
So you have a scoop of that every day. You just put it in your smoothie or anything?
I do. I actually have 2 scoops, but yeah, I'll add one to my coffee in the morning, and then sometimes I'll throw the second one into my oatmeal, my yogurt, my soup, you know, whatever it is I'm cooking. It's actually heat stable. You can put it, you can make cookies with it.
Oh,
you can make some healthy treats.
Collagen cookies.
Right?
I'm
Collagen
down for
cookies.
that. All right. Well, you can find information about that and all the other products that we talked about in Dr. Bo's new book, Dirty Looks, and on your website.
Right, so drwhitneybo.com, and I'm also very active on social media, so be sure to follow me on @DrWhitneyBo, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Ask any questions. I'm always available.
Well, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for being with us today,
Thank you for
Dr.
coming.
Whitney Bo. And thank you for tuning into Healthy Living, and we'll see you again next time.